This week marks the 10th anniversary of the Sydney Olympics, which has strong claims to be the greatest games of modern Olympic history. After some rocky moments in the organisation, the event was a huge success, enthusiastically embraced by a proud nation. Swept up in all the excitement of the competition was a young swimmer from Queensland, Geoff Huegill. Now 31 and still on the comeback trail for the Commonwealth Games in New Delhi next month, he's just one of 3 swimmers from the Sydney Olympics to be part of the team to go to India. But as Paul Lockyer reports, Huegill's selection caps off a remarkable story.
Kathy Freeman.
The success of the Sydney Games had much to do with the carefree spirit that enveloped the event. Even cynical Sydneysiders who had moaned about the disruption caused by the Olympics became converts, clamouring for tickets to anything so they could be part of it all. At the Aquatic Centre, Geoff Huegill was being swept away by the atmosphere.
I get goosebumps every time I think about it. You know, the way we sat on pool deck and we cheered the men's 4x100 freestyle relay on the opening night and watched Thorpe win gold in the 400 freestyle.
He's got it beaten. Thorpe is coming in. Gold and a world record. Ian Thorpe.
Huegill's first big moment at the Games came in a semi-final of the 100 metres butterfly, setting a new Olympic record.
Huegill is going to win this first semi-final decisively. What a performance, Huegill.
And for me, to this day, it was the most easiest and the best swim I've ever done throughout my whole career.
Geoff Huegill won a silver and a bronze medal at the Sydney Games, and it seemed that a long and successful career was just developing for the easygoing boy from Queensland. But he came away from the Athens Olympics empty-handed and decided to give it away more than 3 years ago, throwing off all the shackles of a highly disciplined training regime.
I lived a life to excess, so to speak, you know, instead of sticking to diets and routines and exercise, I did everything completely opposite to what I had grown up with.
It quickly began to show. His former coach watched with much concern as Huegill stacked on the weight.
It was bad. He was in a bad state, and not just from physical health, but also physically. I think mentally, his mental sort of health was wavering, and I guess he was fairly lost in life. In what was he doing and where was he going?
Warnings about his declining health eventually jolted Huegill into action.
You know, when you're weighing close to 140 kilograms, the doctor said I had definitely put myself at risk of heart disease. So, you know, it was a big wake-up call for me. My father passed away of a heart attack in his early 50s, so, heart disease is something that obviously I had to really take care of or really look at throughout my life.
Geoff Huegill resumed swimming, and as he began to shed weight, his thoughts turned to a comeback with his old squad. There was no automatic re-entry for Geoff Huegill into the elite training squad. He was put on a 3-month trial to test his commitment, but he quickly left no one in any doubt about his determination to rediscover himself.
He was the one that pushed himself, getting up early in the morning before training, doing all the running, doing everything that he needed to do, to trim off, as well as everything he could do in the pools.
Nice and long, just getting good feel for the water.
Coach Grant Stolwinder is delighted to have Huegill back in a squad that includes Libby Trickett and Eamon Sullivan.
Being an athlete for so long and used to being fit, and I think one day he probably just sort of looked at himself and said, what have I done to myself?
It would have been very easy for me to just sit on the sidelines and sulk, but I accepted the challenge and the responsibilities that needed to be, and I went out there and did it.
Huegill shed an astonishing 45 kilograms and recaptured form good enough to win back a place on the Australian team.
The superstar Phelps in lane 4 makes a good start, but so too Geoff Huegill. He's taking it to him.
At the recent Pan-Pacific Championships, Huegill came close to winning medals in 2 events.
But Geoff Huegill, good on you. It's the way to try and take it.
He's already swum just recently the Pan-Pacs lifetime best ever 50-metre butterfly. I think he's sort of knocking on the door to swimming his lifetime best 100-metre fly. So I think this is, at 31, this is the best that we've ever seen, Geoff.
He's just sort of reinvented himself and come back, and he's a better swimmer now, I think, than he was back in 2000, really. His maturity's there now, and he's still racing, you know, at international class.
Huegill in front, Pine and Klim, they can't get him. Huegill.
Geoff Huegill burst onto the scene with this gold medal swim at the 1998 Commonwealth Games in Kuala Lumpur.
Pine got second, Klim third. It's a green and gold trifecta.
He could hardly have imagined that 12 years later he would be swimming even faster and setting his sights on another Commonwealth Games in New Delhi next month.
Maturity is a massive thing, and experience, you can't substitute that at this level. I think swimming is something that's in your blood, and if you love what you're doing, then it's easy to get amazing results.
Especially for a swimmer who at 29 was struggling with obesity and facing big health risks.
When Geoff first come and spoke to me about, you know, wanting to make a comeback and I'm wanting to make the Commonwealth Games, it was like, okay, you know, I thought it was a sort of an out there idea and a great sort of a dream goal, but you know, he's done it and it's been fantastic to be part of it, and yeah, it's a great comeback.
Love to definitely come away with the gold. That would be great, but for me, I think I've already won my gold medal. You know, I've been able to turn my life around and to have a second chance.
That report from Paul Lockyer.